Electrolysis is coming from two words, electro and lysis. Electro means electricity and lysis means decomposition. So the full definition of electrolysis is a decomposition of compound into elements by using electricity. Before going further to the chemical reaction that involve electricity, we have to know the diagram of how electrolysis is done. There are at least three important things in the electrolysis diagram. First is the electrolyte. Electrolyte can be a molten or aqueous solution of ionic compound or polar covalent compound. And the second important thing is electrode. These two electrodes have different charge that will connect it to the power supply or the battery. Yes, the third important thing is the battery or the power supply. The power supply gives the electron that will move from anode to cathode. And then from the cathode it goes to the solution, and then the reaction happens at the anode and it goes back to the power supply. So electrons are moved around like a cycle. After knowing the diagram, now let's come to the process that happens during electrolysis. So the negative electrode is called as the cathode because it attracts all the cation. So cathode, cation. And then the positive electrode or anode will attract all the anions. Yes, anion moves toward anode. Actually, this movement of ions is not the first process. Remember, I said that electrons are given from the power supply and move from anode to the cathode. So the first process is the electron movement. The last process is all ions discharged at each electrode. At the cathode, all the positive ion will lose their charge or will become neutral by gaining electron that is given from the power supply by the process called as reduction. Say that the positive ion is an Na+. The Na+ gains an electron to form a neutral Na. Positive meets negative becomes neutral. And what will happen to the opposite ion or the anion? All of them will get discharged by losing electron, and the process is called as oxidation. Say that the negative ion is Cl-. It will lose electron and form the neutral Cl. But Cl is a diatomic element, so the formula should be Cl2. And if you want to make it balance, you balance the number of atoms by multiplying the Cl on the left by 2, and as the consequence, the charge on the left hand side is now 2-, so you have to multiply the electron by 2 so that both sides will have a charge -2. Now, to write the overall redox reaction, we need to cancel out the electron because the amount of electron taken and amount of electron given must be the same. So since the first equation has only one electron, we have to multiply it by 2. And therefore, everything must be multiplied by 2. Now we can cancel out the electrons on the left hand side and on the right hand side. So as the result, we have 2 Na+ and 2Cl minus on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we have 2Na plus Cl2. And remember, this is coming from a molten or aqueous substance. So at first they become a one compound. So you also may write it 2NaCl becomes 2Na plus Cl2. Now I want to show you that this equation match with the definition that we have made. So compound is broken down or decomposed into elements by using electricity, which is represented by the electrons.